Hello arcade gamers and welcome back to Biggie D's Arcade. Today I've got a news video for you guys. There's just been a lot of news going on in the home arcade community this week and I wanted to make a video to cover it all with you guys today. So let's get into it. First up is going to be Arcade 1-Up. I think they were the biggest piece of news we've gotten here recently in home arcade because it's been so long since they've released anything new. Since X-Men 97, we had some questions and we were wondering, was Arcade 1-Up going to release anything new this summer? Well, we officially got an announcement this week of their new NBA Jam Deluxe. Now, I would call this a slim version of the Deluxe, but they don't distinguish that in the marketing for this cabinet. But let's go over it. So essentially it is another version of NBA Jam. We've seen multiple versions of this particular game and cabinet before, from the Deluxe, the XL, the original, and then also the countercade version. So we've seen plenty of NBA Jam in the past, and then this is again another version of that game. Some things to note with this are particularly the game deck. We're going to get a two-player game deck as opposed to the original, what we've seen in the past on these cabinets, which was a four-player. They're trying to get it a little bit smaller, a little less width, for especially people that are in apartments or smaller homes, or maybe they just want to save some space. This two-player game deck is really convenient, allowing you to put the cabinets directly next to each other, maximizing that area for your arcade. So I do understand the demand and the reason for making these four-player game decks into two-player, and it was nice to see Arcade 1-Up do that with this new NBA Jam Deluxe. Now, another thing to note with this game deck isn't just that the two-player is a two-player game deck, but also we're not going to get the deck protector, which we've seen in the past as well. So something we've seen for a long time from Arcade 1-Up over the years were these plastic deck protectors in order to ensure that the artwork would not get rubbed off. What we've been seeing recently as of this year and late last year was this new what we would call a rub-free or rub-resistant artwork, which could and should last over years of play without wearing or starting to rub off. So we are seeing that in this new NBA Jam. So that is another thing to note as you're getting the new artwork, which does not require the deck protector, and you're also getting a shorter or less width, narrower, flush side panel with the two-player game deck. Also something to note with this cabinet, and these I think aren't going to be as positive as what we just covered, is going to be that it is essentially the same PCB and the same games list that we've seen from Arcade 1-Up in the past for NBA Jam. And we knew this going into this year that we weren't going to be seeing new games or new games list. We would be seeing rehashes and just redone versions of these cabinets and different variations, different form factors. And that's exactly what we've seen so far in this new version of NBA Jam. Now, some things that I like about the artwork and what we're seeing on the outside is that it does not have that tournament edition marquee anymore. We're now looking at what we had originally, which was the OG version of NBA Jam, having that marquee now again, which I think is better overall. You know, it is nice for them to include something different, something new when they release a cabinet. We saw them do tournament edition marquees back on the Deluxe 4-player. However, it didn't match the side panel artwork, resulting in, you know, two different versions or two different games artwork on one cabinet. And that wasn't too well received. So I like the fact that they went back to the original NBA Jam marquee. Also with this one, I think probably one of the most controversial things we've seen so far from a result of this new design is the bottom portion of the cabinet really reminds us and very reminiscent of that Casino-cade they released last year, in which it has kind of like a board or an area that sticks out from the bottom portion of the cabinet. We believe that this could be for stability purposes, but we don't have any confirmation from Arcade 1-Up on why they're going with this design. And I think some things to, consider, or things that I would like to speculate on, is that I think they're wanting this form factor to offer something that's more narrow, less depth, giving us a little bit more room in our game rooms, allowing us to fit them into smaller areas. So I think that's what Arcade 1-Up is thinking with this new design, and maybe possible future Arcade 1-Ups with this design, is that people will be able to fit more into their arcades, potentially buying more of their cabinets. So that, I think, is something to consider when trying to understand this new form factor. Now, they do call this the NBA Jam Deluxe, but I do believe this should be called the NBA Jam Slim Deluxe, or the NBA Jam Deluxe Slim. And it does get a little bit confusing when you have two cabinets. You have a 4-player and a 2-player version, both named the NBA Jam Deluxe. So we'll see what they do with the naming of these cabinets in the future, if they distinguish them from the Deluxe cabinet, calling them something different. But to date, and all the marketing we've seen so far, they haven't done that. So let's move on next. I want to talk about some AtGames. We've got a lot of news in regards to them. We are fresh off the heels right now of the AtGames Nod Sale, the National Owners Day, which they do about every quarter, offering us some of the best deals of the year. And people were a little critical and ended up not buying the new 4K pinball because we only saw $100 off that price tag, with still having $100 in shipping. And then even if you did the SSF kit pre-installed, the control panel, all of it, it really wasn't a huge amount of savings. So we didn't see a lot of people move in the community and home arcade to buy the 4K pinball during the Nod Sale. So moving forward, there was also some news, and I guess a critical reaction to their new price hike. Evidently, the non-Zen tables that for the Pinball 4K and even the Pinball HD are going to go up in price. We're hearing that there's going to be a price increase from $25 up to $35 with no real explanation as to why. So are we getting some new updates, something that is going to improve the quality of these games or giving us some downloadable content? None of that has been said yet. We just have a price increase from $25 to $35 starting towards the end of this month in July. So that is something to note going into the 4K pinball, is do you want to pay up to $35 for these pinball packs now, when they were $10 less in June and before that. So interesting to see those price hikes without much explanation. Now, some other things going on with AtGames right now, some things I'm really interested in with their news releases, has been that they have given us some information on the new AtGames Legends Ultimate HD, which we've seen in a few different versions, all kind of looking and playing the same. But they are going to give us an even newer version now, which appears, and they have not confirmed this for us, but it does appear to have the new board, the same board that's running in the 4K pinball, in a new AtGames Legends Ultimate HD. This will be sold at Sam's starting in October. We still don't know what the artwork's going to look like. The only two things we really know so far about this new Legends Ultimate HD that's coming out in October at Sam's is the fact that it's going to have a new games list, and it is also going to have the new UI. And that's what leads me to believe that this is the new board inside the Legends Ultimate, because in order to run that new UI, that new menu system, you're going to need a upgraded board or PCB. So that's what I think is happening, even though we don't have much confirmation on that yet. So I think that news will start to trickle down. We'll get more information on this new Legends Ultimate hopefully here over the next month or two. Now, some other things that I think are interesting and really good news for AtGames is they are getting the Godzilla X Kong pinball pack here out at the end of the month. So if you were interested in getting the Godzilla pinball packs, or maybe you were interested in a Godzilla skin that could possibly come from them, just know that that game is coming up here at the end of July. Also, there is a new update as well that's going to be coming at the end of July. This is a 4K pinball update. Hopefully, I know everyone's really, just antsy and wanting to get a new flipper lag update for the Zen pinball tables. This may hopefully be the day that they do that and finally improve the Zen performance of these tables, because so far it's been really bad. From what I'm hearing, people are saying almost the Zen tables are unplayable. Some people are saying most of them are pretty bad, while Twilight Zone seems to be pretty good. So different opinions, different reactions to these Zen tables, but mostly all of the people collectively, I think, are all in agreement that the Zen tables are not performing at what they should, and that this is something that AtGames needs to make a priority moving forward if people are going to buy their pinball packs or purchase these pinball tables. Lastly, on the end of this news video, I want to end with New Wave Toys. So let's talk a little bit about what New Wave Toys has going on and what we can expect coming up from them. Zoltar has finally shipped. We are starting to see customers starting to receive their units. The ones that are being received as of this week are going to be the pre-orders, people who bought in on this product well before it was ever created, while it was still in the development phase, spending only $75, are now receiving their Zoltar miniature micro scale replicate of the Zoltar fortune telling machine. So this is really cool. This is something unique and new we haven't seen from them before. We're used to them doing the arcades, the boom boxes, the charging units, things like that. But now we're actually getting a mechanical, really actually prints tickets and tells you it's fortune Zoltar machine. So this is amazingly well put together, I think. Incredible job that they've done just from what I'm seeing so far in the early units that people have received as of yesterday. But these are being shipped all over the world. People are really interested in New Wave Toys and what they did with this Zoltar. And people seem to be very happy with their units so far. A lot of questions, things on availability of more tickets if you want new rolls. Also, people not wanting to cut those tickets or tear them apart because they want to save them. But just unique and interesting perspectives and reactions to these Zoltars. But everything I'm hearing so far, extremely positive. So just a lot of questions, and they probably need to do like an FAQ page on the New Wave Toys website about this unit in particular, because it is so different than anything we've gotten from them before. But very cool. And I'm happy that these are going to be finally arriving at people's homes after such a long time and such a long pre-order phase and period until it was released. So great to see that. Also, Golden Tee. We saw that New Wave Toys was at Las Vegas just last week, and they were at the Golden Tee World Championships. And that was, I think, very good press for them. Very good availability to, to be seen in front of probably the biggest buyers of Golden Tee, and that's the professionals from all over the world competing at their championship there. So I thought that was really good press, really good marketing from them. And I think that's going to really help and drive the pre-order sales of the new Golden Tee. I noticed it wasn't huge or well received in the home arcade community like some of these classic arcade games were. But a lot of people were very interested, ended up pre-ordering. And then I think this is just going to add on to those pre-orders, having it there at the World Championships. There was also, guys, to note, a 20% off promo code for the Golden Tee Replicade. That has since ended on Monday, so no longer are you going to be able to get that 20% off. They are back now to full price, but still available for pre-order. So definitely go check it out. There is the standard, the premium, also the full package with the trackball stick from GRS Products, which is Glenn's retro show. Highly recommend his stuff. If you don't already own a product or like a trackball from Glenn, I think this is a really good opportunity to get in on the New Wave Toys version. It sounds like it is going to be open to other devices as well, so it's not going to just work wirelessly or wired with the Replicate. It'll also sounds like work with other devices and potentially like arcades like our Raspberry Pi or iArcade. So definitely go check that out. I would consider that full, arcade stick package if you like that. It seems like it's going to be very cool and something new that New Wave Toys has never done before, giving you more of that full arcade experience in these smaller replicates, being able to play it on the TV, hook it up that way. Also, some things to note with New Wave Toys coming up is that there are 2 new releases by the end of this year, or announcements. It could be either announced or released by the end of 2024. But we had Shiloh come on my live stream about a month ago, and he confirmed one of those 2 is going to be from 1983. So I had made a graphic with the different popular arcades during that year, and he confirmed it is one of those titles. So you can refer to that and just, guess and kind of put in your opinion on which one you think that'll be. And then there'll be one other replicate or product from New Wave Toys that we don't know about yet. And that will also be released or announced by the end of 2024. And then some things coming up is Shiloh is going to be on P-Dub's Arcade Loft coming up. So I'll put a link down in the description to his live stream. Go check that out, because Shiloh's going to be live again answering questions about, possibly cabinets coming up. And it looks like they're going to focus a lot of time on the Zoltar. So if you're interested in it and you maybe have questions about it, hopefully we get those answers during the stream. So I'm looking forward to that. But I hope you guys liked the video. Definitely hit that like button. Subscribe to Biggie D's Arcade if you haven't already, so you can get up to date on all the news and home arcade, and you'll be reminded of when those videos hit. And I'll see everyone in the next one. Talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.